Hello and welcome once again to Latveria Library, where I talk about everything comic book related. Today, I want to talk about an incredible miniseries called Translucid. I honestly haven't heard many people talk about this series, which is a shame, because this comic is amazing, and I want to bring more attention to it. If you're looking for a simple hero vs. villain story, then this isn't a story for you. It's so much deeper than that. This is a story about friendship, facing your fears, and how the choices we make shape who we become. Also, there will be spoilers in this video, so if you don't want to know anything, I would recommend going and reading it, then coming back. But if you want to know a little bit about the story before reading it, then this is a place for you. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, and let's get into it. Translucid was released by Boom on July 16th, 2014, and was created by Claudio Sanchez and his wife, Chandra Eckhart, with illustration by Daniel Bayliss. Some of you might already know this, but Claudio Sanchez is not only the lead singer and guitar player for Coheed and Cambria, but has actually written many wonderful comics over the years, such as Kill Audio, Armory Wars, and of course Translucid. He even owns his own publishing company called Evil Inc. Actually, all the band's albums, except for one, are just a retelling of his most notable comic, The Armory Wars. If you're able to find The Armory Wars, I highly recommend checking it out. But this video isn't about The Armory Wars, it's about Translucid. And there is so much I want to go over. But first, let's dive into the Navigator and Horse and their relationship. They first meet on a small boat under a bridge. Horse had planted bombs all over the bridge to try and take out a corrupt politician. The first bomb goes off as the Navigator arrives. He points a gun at Horse's head, but Horse had pulled a lever and the whole bridge collapsed. The Navigator had to choose between the people or the horse. Obviously he chose the people and the horse escapes. And this is just the start of the long war between the two. After this encounter, they become household names. This part of the story is actually a flashback that takes place in issue 2. So this isn't the beginning of the story, or the first time we see the Navigator or Horse. But I figured it'd be a good starting point for the video, because these couple of panels really just tell us so much about the Horse. He is a man that justifies his action of murder and crime by telling himself it's for the greater good. He would blow up a bridge, probably killing hundreds of people, just to get one politician who's taking pensions away from first responders, or murdering a billionaire who donates millions to charity, but has a sex dungeon where he keeps children. The Horse sees things as morally gray, while the Navigator sees things as black and white. He would rather let the courts decide the fate of these criminals. These two are really two sides of the same coin. Now, there is this really great moment in the panel that really sums up at least how the Horse sees their relationship. It's when the Navigator first jumps onto the boat to confront the Horse. The Navigator mentions how ambiguous Horse's supervillain name is, and the Horse says that every Navigator needs a mode of transportation. I think this means a few things. First off, I believe that it means that a hero is nothing without a villain. He just becomes a guy with gadgets. Also, I think it means that they both guide each other on a certain path and make each other better at being a hero or villain. But doing battle for as long as they have, it seems that they have formed an unhealthy codependency. They both have lost all meaning of why they do what they do, and the only purpose for being a hero or villain now is to just do battle with each other. Horse realizes this and makes the decision to turn himself in, hoping the navigator would regain his independence and sharpen his skills and instincts. But really, it made things worse. The navigator had completely disappeared after the horse's imprisonment. So when the horse was finally released, he felt the navigator wasn't living up to his heroic potential and had no choice but to end their rivalry. But before that, he wanted to know what put the navigator on the path to being a hero in the first place. So the horse had created a device to enter the navigator's mind and see those events for himself, and maybe help him confront the trauma he's been through. Which brings us to Cornelius. Cornelius is a bright kid that loves making holograms. His dream is that someday he will be able to create holograms that can become solid matter. But Cornelius also suffers from a terrible home life. His father is an alcoholic and abusive to him and his mother. But his mother is also complacent in it all, because his father is the breadwinner, and she figures they couldn't survive without him. Cornelius also has an older brother, who isn't around as much as he would like, because he's the all-star quarterback of his high school. So between practice and games, he doesn't really have much time for anything else. But he's doing it all for a good reason. You see, Cornelius and his older brother have more of a father-son relationship than anything. So his older brother is working hard to get a football scholarship so he can adopt his little brother and move them both away from their parents. But Cornelius is torn between staying to protect his mom or going with his brother. Sadly, he will never get the chance to make that choice. While trying to save someone on the subway tracks, Cornelius' brother is ran over. But that's who he was. We see little moments of compassion from Cornelius' brother throughout the comic. Like for instance, giving money to a homeless man. I think Horst says it best. His brother showed him compassion, his father taught him fear, and his mother motivated him to protect. Cornelius' family are what motivated him to become the hero, the navigator. Finally, I would like to talk about Cornelius' weird visions. We see more times than not, in the navigator's flashbacks, there is a knight's chess piece. Sometimes it's on someone's shirt, sometimes it's a statue in a park. And I believe this is actually the horse watching the navigator's life play out. Also, Cornelius has weird acid trip-like hallucinations, which I believe is caused by some sort of mental illness. And there is a moment I didn't talk about that reinforces this, because I didn't want to spoil everything. I want people to actually go read the comic. Some of his hallucinations are different, like when a traumatic experience happens, they seem to attack him, forcing Cornelius to confront and overcome his trauma. This is the horse manipulating Navigator's mind to help his friend, because let's be real, they have known each other for so long and have been through so much that they are more friends than enemies. But I think that's really why the Navigator becomes so codependent. He has no one else but the horse. He's lonely. And I think it actually brought him joy to do battle with the horse. So yeah, Horse wanted to help mend his friend's mind and overcome his demons, as like one last gift. Plus, it was probably painful to watch his friend go through all those experiences. Translucid is a beautiful deep dive into the mind of a superhero. It shows how they really aren't as perfect as they portray, and how sometimes they can lose their purpose for saving people in the first place. Was it actually for selfish reasons? Did the Navigator just want to be loved? Well, hopefully, people will go read the book and come up with their own conclusions. This ends my Translucid video. I hope everybody enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. I really love this comic. It makes me feel so many different emotions, as most really good stories do. But sometimes it's hard to convey how a story really makes me feel. I hopefully did a decent job. Well, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.